Welcome to Bringing Youth to the Conversation, a program brought to you by the Newport News Police Department's Young Adult Police Commissioners. I'm Olivia Horvath, a sophomore from Warwick High School.
And I'm Elijah Brown, a senior from Heritage High School. And today our special guest is Mayor Price. How are you doing today, Mayor Price?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good.
How do you feel about being the mayor of Newport News?
It's very humbling and very exciting, actually. Growing up, who would have ever thought that a kid going to public schools and racial society would one day be mayor of the 5th largest city in the state. So it's very exciting to be there now.
That's interesting. I actually want to be president when I grow up.
Great. Anything is possible.
How do you feel, or what is your vision for the youth of our city?
Well, I think my vision for the youth is one that they come back if they go to school or they seek employment here, that they feel safe in the city, and that they find a way to contribute back to the community. And I think that's very important that youth have that they want to do that.
Mm-hmm. So do I.
You work with 6 different people, so how does it feel working with 6 different personalities to get the work done in the city?
Sometimes that's a challenge, especially the way our city is. It's so long. It's 26 miles long, and we have 3 divisions in our city: South, Central, and North. And the challenge is to make sure that whenever we do something in one part of the city, that it is perceived beneficial for the entire city and not just for that one section of the city. So sometimes that can be a challenge because it's human nature for people to think, well, you may be doing more in one part of the city than the other. And sometimes the residents may feel that as well, when actually there are a lot of major things that are going on in all parts of the city.
So talking about challenges, as mayor of Newport News, what do you believe is the biggest challenge that you faced so far?
I think the biggest challenge is one to make sure that we continue to be a safe society, mm-hmm. and 2, that we are economically successful. And that means that businesses will continue to want to grow here or come here, and that residents will want to stay here and work, play, and live here as well. So that's the challenge, to get that balance between recreation, mm-hmm.
living,
work, making sure that our industries have the needs that they have to be successful, and also that our citizens will want to stay here and grow as well.
Because you're mayor, people are looking at you in this time of crisis due to the coronavirus. So how do you feel the city is responding to that?
Well, I feel very comfortable that our city is doing everything we can. We are, I've had more conferences on telephone than I care to think about. Between our public health, between our police department, our first responders, the fire department, all of the agencies that contribute to us being safe. We've had conversations, dialogue with our regional jurisdictions, trying to do the same things, so to make sure that we can share resources, have the resources we need to make this unknown. And this is unknown territory for us. This is not a problem that we have solved before. So we're trying to guess what can happen, what will happen, worst case scenarios. We've run the gamut on that to try and make sure that we're doing everything possible to make sure we get through this crisis.
Do you think that if it gets worse, there's going to be a citywide shutdown where nobody's allowed to leave their house?
That is possible. There are some areas in the city, in the states, that are doing that. It all depends on the number, how exponentially this grows in that area. If we start to see a real strong spike and the things that we're doing now are not working, then it may be necessary to do that. Because what we have to do is flatten that plane. This thing does this. And if we can keep it here and fewer people get infected, then quicker we'll get through this.
So if that does happen, what would that do with people's jobs who live paycheck to paycheck?
Well, the government, as of today, is doing some innovative things as far as having money available for people who are not going to be wage earners or have income. Actually, my company that I work for, I'm a dentist, and they have given 2 extra weeks of personal time off with pay. So companies are going to do what they need to do if they value their employees, and the government is in the process of doing what it needs to do to make sure we don't fall into an extreme recession.
Do you feel as though that our city is responding well to this situation?
I think mostly. I think people are beginning to, it's in every state in the country. Some states have larger problems than others, but I think all states are going to be affected, and it depends on if we do the things we need to do early to make sure this does not grow and get out of control, then we will get through this.
Do you have any advice for our viewers on how to stay safe or stay calm
Yes.
during this time?
Do the resources, view the resources that are available to you online. Wash your hands quickly, stay social distance, no shaking hands, wearing gloves if you need to, but do the things that are recommended and take this seriously. This is something, people are dying, and people need to realize that if you have health that is not 100%, it may affect you even more.
Have you, since you've been mayor, have you faced any other challenges such as this or close as this situation?
No, not to this point. You know, we're used to, you know, hurricanes and tornadoes and things of that, which is, you know, short term. This could go on for months, and people are going to have to be patient and adapt to the response of what this could be like. So I'm very hopeful. I'm very prayerful. I think this is a time for us to reflect, and if you believe in a higher being, I think it's time to seek that help.
Trump said that it would take 6 months to a year for this whole thing to clear up. How do you think that's going to affect the future?
If it takes that long, life will be different for probably during that period of time, because we just saw a broadcast in Rome. The streets are empty. After 8 o'clock, everyone goes in. New York will probably, I think, very soon be on lockdown, just because of the number of cases that are going. So we have that potential to be in a crisis mode, and people need to mentally prepare for that. Not panic. We don't have a shortage of food or supplies. You don't have to go out and, you know, hoard, but it is a time for us to, if you don't need to go out, don't do that.
Recently, I've been to the store, and there was this long line of people, and I remember my mom was saying that they were allowing 25 people at a time. How do you feel about that?
Well, that's good, because again, this is something that's spread by droplet or contact. So it's not an airborne, although it can last in the air a little while. So you want to decrease the space between people so that it is not contact driven. So you want to be able to not be too close to people all the time.
So what final words would you give to the citizens about the virus?
I would say to make sure that you do what is asked of you to do from the government and other sources. Stay abreast with the news, stay in tune with the local ordinances that we are going to be probably coming, and make sure that you're on top of things. Stay healthy, don't panic, but do the precautions you need to make sure that you and your family are safe.
Do you have any more questions?
No.
All right. Thank you for joining us today.
Yes, thank you. It was really helpful information to know about what is going on behind the scenes.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you for joining us today, and I hope you join us on the next episode of Bringing News to the Conversation.